Once again, it's a privilege to be welcomed into your homes. Today, we are reading from Mark chapter 10, verse 46 to 52. As Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a sizable crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside begging. On hearing that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, get up, Jesus is calling you." He threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and came to Jesus. Jesus said to him in reply, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man replied to him, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "Go your way, your faith has saved you." Immediately he received his sight and followed him on the way. The Gospels are full of people's heartfelt prayers of petition. We have a very good example of such a prayer in the reading. A blind man sitting at the side of the road cries out to Jesus as he passes by, "Son of David, have pity on me." He desperately wanted to connect with Jesus. The people around Jesus scolded him and told him to be quiet. Perhaps they were trying to protect Jesus from an annoying beggar. However, these people could not stop the blind man's prayer. In response to their efforts to silence him, he shouted towards Jesus all the louder. He will allow no one to come between himself and Jesus. He displays the kind of persevering, prayerful faith we all need in these days. Jesus' response to the blind man's cry was very different to the response of those around him. Jesus stopped. The Lord always stops for us whenever we call to him. He has time for us, especially when we cry out to him in our need. For us, the people around Jesus try to silence the blind man. Jesus calls him over and addresses him in a very personal way. "What do you want me to do for you?" The Lord is always personally present to us whenever we cry out to him in our need. In response to our prayer, he encourages us to give expression to what it is we truly want, the deepest desire in our hearts. Dear friends, the blind man's encounter with Jesus was truly life-changing for him. He begins to see and then immediately begins his life as a disciple of Jesus, following him along the way. Whenever we come before the Lord in prayer and allow him to touch our lives, we too will begin to see him more clearly, and we will be empowered to follow him more fully. Shalom. Peace.